Be 1 second here. The morning after the Night Lord Reaver's attack on Fort Sarkrag, Aleros Margaster brought the materials needed for Mortimer to cast a greater respiration spell on him, as a precaution since he had been bitten by Malmug the Bloody. The Uncommon then set off for the stump bog to find the orc's lair. Their search of the swamp went a little slower than expected, forcing them to spend the night. The next day, Bartholomew cast a divination spell that led them on a trail of a singular orc. As the group got closer, they found the orc was a prisoner being led to a village of lizard folk. Not wanting to risk losing the opportunity to interrogate the orc, Todrin leapt atop his warhorse Rose and rode towards the orcs, casting a spell that caused all of the swamp's vegetation to suddenly become thick and overgrown, halting their progress. In the confusion, he managed to overpower the orc and ride away with it. At first, a language barrier threatened to thwart their efforts to question the orc, but Mortimer was able to translate through the goblin tongue. The orc led the Uncommon in the direction of the Night Lord Reaver's cave, and he stopped at some ruins along the way, where he intentionally antagonized a family of large, cow-like... I don't know if I can pronounce it again. Catablipus. Whatever, I don't know. You guys know what they are.
Terrifying, awful.
Catablapus.
Yeah, I did it fine. See, last session I did it fine with no trouble, and this time I can't say it.
Cattle blepas.
Immediately killed the orc with a beam of necrotic energy blasting forth from the creature's eyes. The group felled one of the monsters and drove the others to flee, then chose to use the ruins to camp out for the rest of the day and night, rather than risking attacking the orc's lair at night, where they have been the most active and effective. During the night, the group enjoyed a game of Never Have I Ever. They passed around a bottle of ale, or from the alchemy jug rather, that you guys obtained in Undermountain, and awoke the next morning, little hungover, but ready to take the fight to Malmug the Bloody. So, I hate to go too far without Kai here, but he
Not
knows
our
what time
fault.
we play.
Yep.
So,
Not my fault this is happening.
I do have to say, at some point, I will probably have to take an intermission because I got to take Alex to pick up his car.
hey, tell me when. We'll
I
pause.
just thought I forgot to mention that.
No problem. Are you thinking like 20 minutes, 30, an hour?
Whenever he wakes up. So I don't know. Sorry.
All right.
I'll be playing a
So,
one-player D&D session. Let's go.
I hope not. We'll pause for you. Don't worry about that.
Me and Escalade.
There he is. I
taking
told
on
you
the
once we
orcs.
got started he'd be here.
Hey,
What's up, Kai?
I just finished the
Sorry.
recap.
you okay, buddy?
Yeah, no, I just passed out again. Sorry.
You okay?
Gotcha. Sleeping
Hey,
good?
thank you again for helping me this morning. I really appreciate it.
Hey, anytime.
I was afraid I'd woken him up this morning, and he's like, no, I've been awake for a little while. Like, oh, thank goodness.
Half awake.
Okay, half awake. Now I feel bad again.
Did
Anyway.
you call me?
Yes, I did actually.
Okay. I remember vaguely hearing something, and I looked around and I checked my phone doesn't get any Discord messages.
That's weird.
But like I could hear it on my PC, but I wasn't conscious enough to realize I had a PC. So sorry.
That's okay. All of my shit goes to my phone. I don't even know how to stop it from going to my phone.
I used to. It doesn't on my new one though.
So, like I said, I just finished the recap. You guys, Bartholomew, Todrin, Mortimer, and Esvale Rajnar are currently still in the Lehman's tiny hut within that little ruins that are in the stump bog, south of Greenfields, north of Waterdeep, right along the Dissaran River. It's a foggy
There
morning.
You shall stay forever and ever.
Yeah, it is a foggy morning It is a little bit on the cool side outside, but not terribly. What do you guys want to do? So as the sun is just coming up, and as you guys look up, you can see all of those bats that you watched all night. They are all flying northwards.
Hmm.
In the
Like a
direction of
panic
the orc camp.
kind of thing.
No, more like a going home for the day because they're bats kind of thing.
Oh, right. Of course. Obviously. All right. I'm gonna blow everyone's mind and use the terribly underrated ability Divine
Plant growth.
Sense.
I'm sorry.
Is that even what it's called? Divine Sense? Yep,
Yeah.
Divine Sense. There we go. Blam. Just step out of the dome. I'm stretching in front of the ruins, and I take a big old whiff of swamp shit.
So what's the radius on it?
Probably not big enough. 60 feet.
Oh, what?
So there's nothing in the immediate area that triggers your divine sense.
Alright. Smells like shit out here. Wake up,
There
y'all!
is- I will say that the body of the catoblepus that you guys saw, or see, I did it now. I failed during the recap and I can get it now. The body of that creature is gone, and Todrin, at one point, you saw that giant alligator, or crocodile that came up on shore, and
Right.
it ate that thing whole.
Really should have used my
I was-
senses on them.
I was about to correct you by saying no, it's Spider Puss, but then I realized it's
That's a monster from our Forbidden Lands game.
Ooh.
So,
Ooh,
as I
bless me.
said, it's still like the sun is just rising, so there's still some bats that are kind of like lagging behind, but they are all flying in the same general direction. Your divine sense, as I said, you don't sense any fae, fiend, undead. I think that's all. Was there
Yep.
anything else?
Yes.
Celestials.
Celestials,
right.
yeah.
Yep.
No, none of that. Nothing nearby that triggers your senses, though.
Alright. Wake up, y'all. Today's the day.
It's our intention to find that camp, is it not?
It is.
Excellent.
We're gonna kick some orc ass today. Get us some vengeance. So, Bert, you got your fancy doohickey? Let us find some orcs.
I do. Wait, fancy doohickey?
Yeah, the thing you did.
The spell?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, do I have an item to find orc?
Wait.
You're patting yourself down.
Where'd I put my doohickey?
That's some good doohickey music.
At that point, Azure Edge will kind of chime in, and she says, "You could just follow the bats."
Probably, yeah, but I would like to get a sense of when we're no longer following bats and going after orcs.
Give me a sec, I'm re-choosing spells.
Not sure if that's how the spell works, but while Bert does his stuff, I suppose we can try to walk quietly following the bats.
Okay.
Mm,
So, do you guys want to approach it stealthily?
Hell yeah.
All right. If that's the case, I'm going to need everyone to roll a stealth check.
I actually have that at advantage. I do not have my armor on yet.
Ah, good catch. Same roll. Let's see how Ezvali does.
Do we start with inspiration in this? I forget. I play too much
Uh,
D&D now.
I am giving everyone inspiration at the start of each session, and if
Woohoo!
you... I'm reserving the right to change that at any time, but basically the idea is I would like to give it to you guys for role playing. I just always forget, so I feel like giving it to you at the start of every session is the kind of the balancing act.
Right.
Does Azulay have? Need to check something before I roll for her. Ironically, she does not have anything that gives her advantage on stealth checks. She rolled a 16. That's not quite as good as Bart, but still. So, you guys moving in that general direction through the swamp, the bog here. You know, at times you're like up to your knees in mud and just unpleasant, foul-smelling water. What was the spell that you wanted to cast?
Locate creature.
Okay.
Orcs.
And the radius on that is
1,000 feet.
okay.
It tells me if the creature's moving, and I know the direction of its movement.
Is there any kind of restrictions on that as far as
Yes.
materials?
Like
stone
through materials, no. But if there is a 10-foot wide path of running water, it blocks it.
So
The exact words are, the spell can't locate a creature if running water at least 10 feet wide blocks a path between you and the creature.
Swamps aren't running water, are they?
That's
generally.
That's kind of where I'm going to go with this. So you're along the Sarin River, which is flowing water, and it's a lot more than 10 feet across.
Right.
And the stump bog is up against that, and it's filled with the same water, but it's not running with the water. It's not running with the river. I would call, most swamp water that I know of is kind of stagnant. It's not.
That's
moving.
why it becomes a swamp.
Yeah, that's my understanding. So I'm going to say that there is that's not blocking you. There is a lot of water around, but none of it's moving. And what you do get is on the outside edge, in that northern direction. Does it tell you how many?
So it says it can locate a specific creature or the nearest creature of a specific kind. So no, just one.
Okay.
The closest.
Are you just going for just orcs or a specific?
Just orcs.
Okay. Then you do get orcs that direction. Say that 800 feet, maybe 850.
Okay. Are they moving?
They are not moving.
Okay. And is that the same way that the bats are going?
It is. Yes.
All right. I will point that out.
Oh, I was muted. Alright, so our goal is to find and kill Big Kahuna.
Which we don't know his name yet, right, as players?
You guys know his name's Malmuk the Bloody.
Oh, okay.
So, shall we try to find a back way into the cave? I suppose we need to get eyes on what we're looking at first. I'm not the stealthiest, though. Would one of you stealthier folk want to get close enough to get a sense of what we're looking at? I'll hang back a bit.
I'll snap my fingers and Mistiana will appear.
Hey, there you go.
I think she'll be the stealthiest of us.
Alright, go get him, kitty.
Wow, I haven't utilized Find Familiar for a second. One sec.
I know, right?
It's been a bit, yeah. So you should have access to her stats, I think. If you don't, let me know and I'll give you access.
I do.
Okay.
I almost asked you how I do that. But we're good. Alright, so as long as I'm within 100 feet of her, I can communicate telepathically, and as an action, I can see through her eyes and hear what she hears.
Okay.
But I'm deaf and blind when I do that. Alright, so I will... Are we moving?
We are not. Waiting to see what you see.
Well, I think we should move closer. We're probably about 800 feet from the nearest orc.
Oh! Alright, yeah, we got some travel time then.
Yeah, and then once we get closer, I'll scout with Mistiana.
So for the record, when you let her up and she starts flying, you will notice she's actually a bit faster than some of these bats. So she's able to keep up with them pretty easily.
Cool. Well, I will make sure she stays within 100 feet of us.
Sure.
Kind of just getting a sense of our surroundings.
Alright, so are y'all moving now?
Yar!
I believe so.
Forward! Stealthily
So
as possible! Crunch, crunch, crunch.
You move across through the bog here. Again, it's not a pleasant experience. You're up to your, say your knees. For Mortimer, it's more like his waist in, muddy water, and it's not fun. But you do eventually get to a place where you can see there's a mound that's well up out of the water line, and you do see there is a cave mouth up ahead that is about 30 feet across, so more than enough room, and it's high enough for those bats that are just filling that cavern. Everyone, including Mistiana, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Perceptions. Hey.
Esvele rolled a 23.
Jeebus.
Jesus.
Hey,
Bart
Bart.
got a 24.
Nice.
Good show.
Okay. So Esvele and Bart at the same time point out, while most of the bats are going into this large 30-foot wide cavern, there's a lot of them that seem to be going above the mound and like coming down.
So there's probably some kind of roof entrance to the caves.
It's a possibility.
Not a bad idea for an alternate end if we need it. How close are we, Bert?
What is divine locate creature telling me? Because it lasts an hour.
At this point, you're about, say, 200 feet. You're
And
close.
they're definitely within this structure.
Yeah.
Well, mound.
Seems to be, yeah.
We have a couple hundred more feet.
All right.
Let's get a little bit closer to the cave system.
Mortimer, is there anything you want to do?
Bart's doing most of what I was gonna do.
All right.
So no, I'm good.
I will have Mistiana kind of scout to see if she notices any orc presence.
Do you want her to fly in?
No. To circle the outer area. You know, like looking for like
Alright.
watches and stuff like that.
Go ahead and roll her a perception check.
Whoops. $21.
Okay. She flies around the area. She stays close to you, close, within that 100 feet as you guys are approaching. She does not notice any sort of guard outside. I would say she's able to fly up enough to see, and you can see through her eyes. There is about a 10-foot wide hole. It's got a lot of vines and stuff in it, but there's about a 10-foot wide hole in the roof of what appears to be a cave. She's not close enough to be able to see into it, but she can see the hole, and she can see these like vines and everything. They're kind of dipping down into it. What she can see from this distance, it's a tall cavern. Probably with what you guys are seeing outside with the mound and what she's seeing is it's probably say 40 feet inside, floor to ceiling.
That's a big cave.
So, from what we can tell, it looks like almost like a rock, a dome made of natural rock, and it's just one big cavern inside, and we see an alternate hole in the roof.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And the cavern, the entry, the main entrance that you guys are looking at on the ground level, is at the water level. There's a good, say, 15-20 feet of between the water and the top of the cave, the entrance to the cave. So there's more than enough room to walk or even fly something in there. Like your griffins could go in this cavern with no problem. Their wingspan, they wouldn't even touch the walls.
All right, Bert, you see any good alternate paths up to that roof entry?
I wasn't looking for that. I will change Miss Diana's goal.
Yeah, I'll say with a 21, she's able to see. There's some paths. Like I said, there's a lot of vines and vegetation around the area. It could be climbed. It might not be as easy as walking in, but it could be done.
And it's reasonably not crowded with orcs to get up there?
As far as she can see, there aren't any orcs.
Oh, so they must all be inside then.
Yeah,
unless
between
they're
what she's
really
seeing,
well hidden.
Between what she's seeing and what Bart is seeing, or rather, through her eyes, you don't get the impression that there's any sort of guard outside.
Interesting. Alright. Well, we got a choice. Ground level or up on the roof. I vote roof, personally.
I don't know if they're expecting us. I mean, we did fight Malmoog himself, but whether he expects us to follow, right.
Meaning what? How does that play into your vote?
I don't think he's expecting us, so either way, I don't think it's a giant deal, but I think it's less likely that the upper entrance is being watched.
Right, and if we can get a better idea of the layout of what's inside with a view from above, all the better.
Alright.
Sounds like we're gonna do our best to get up to that roof space.
Okay. So to get there, you have to muck your way through just some nasty water, which isn't a problem in and of itself, but I am going to need athletics checks from everyone who's attempting to climb the vines. And again, you're talking a good distance here, so
How high up is it?
between the water and the top of this is about 40 feet.
How about acrobatics?
This is not exactly an acrobatics thing.
Oh, it's more okay. Strength and.
Okay. You know what? I could see you, like, what's the word?
Parkour.
I was thinking more like a monkey where you swing from vine to vine. I could see someone trying that. So sure, I'll allow acrobatics for this.
I'm looking up there, and I look at
me falling down on you.
Splash!
Hold on. I'm looking at Todrin and Esvele, and they both seem pretty competent here, and I'm like, I am not climbing that mound. And I look over at Mortimer, and I'm like...
He's trying to climb it and just splashes down into the water.
I just keep making like running jumps and jumping off things and trying to grab it backwards.
I put my hand on your shoulder when you like get ready to tackle this again, and I'm like, do you want some help?
I mean, I'll get it eventually, but if you'd like to bring your wizardly wiles to bear.
Nice.
So I put my hand on his head, and I'm gonna cast Dimension Door and take the two of us to this peak.
All right.
Cast Dementia.
So they're able to bypass this easily. Todrin and Esvele, however, you two are going to have to figure out your own way up.
I just look at her. Well, now that they're gone, what do you say we go find something else to do out here in the swamp?
I think that sounds grand.
Yeah, all right.
I think it was an excellent little restaurant that the lizard people have out here.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of this whole plan anyway, actually. I'm just going to race you to the top. 1, 2, 3, go! And I take off.
She's just standing there at the bottom, and she lets you get about halfway up. Go ahead and roll your...
Oh, she's got her stupid-ass boots, and I'd fall on my ass.
She's just watching as you fall into the water, and she just grins, and she clicks her heels, and she's just standing there with her arms crossed as she floats up into the air to the top.
Oh, man, y'all are a bunch of cheaters.
I'll lower you a rope.
Yeah, all right. I'll be here. Maybe.
So she drops a rope for you.
Cross my arms like a pouty toddler sitting in this fucking swamp muck.
She lowers a rope for you to
all right.
You'll have advantage on the next one.
Okay. Here we go, advantage. Oh my god.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, you're able to climb it pretty easily with the rope. No problem. Whew. So at this point, you're still at the top here, especially now you guys are at like eye level, and every now and then there will be a bat that gets a little too close that you kind of have to dodge out of the way of. But they're flying past you and just down into this hole in the ground here.
While I wait for them to get caught up, can I see down into this hole at all?
You can.
So, while we're sneaking, folks, let's see how far we can get without extra light sources.
Okay. So, there's a little bit of sunlight that's coming in, but not a lot. And you can see there are two pillars that rise about 40 feet on either side of this hole. Stalagmites that go floor to ceiling.
They're natural, though.
They are natural.
Okay.
There's a lot of... the floor of the cavern appears to be water. It's just swamp water. You can see there's a lot of lily pads and other like water vegetation down there from the swamp. You see a lot of bats flying around, squeaking and making noise. From where you are, go ahead and give me a perception check at disadvantage because of the darkness to see anything else.
Oh, my nose is suddenly bleeding.
What?
I don't know where that came from. Wow.
15.
Todrin, was that at disadvantage?
No, sorry.
It's okay. I understand if you got a nosebleed. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Woo.
I'll say with disadvantage, 12 isn't going to help you much anyway. But 15, Yeah, it just got worse.
Yeah. Todd gets a nosebleed.
What little bit of light is in here gives you just enough to see. You can't see any orcs, but you do see one of those giant bats that's clinging to one of the northern walls in this cavern. It's hanging upside down. Its eyes are closed. It appears to be asleep.
Good eye, good eye. Be very quiet.
Telepathically, go ahead.
I would say from there you can also see the water. There's a point where the water ends, and there's a landmass beneath it. So or above it rather, above the water line. There is some cave floor inside also.
Toward the center of this grotto?
More towards the north and towards the south. The center appears to be filled with water.
Okay.
At least as far as you can see.
Alright, well, telepathically, I'm gonna tell Miss Diana to try to blend in with the bats. Try to be stealthy, and I'm gonna send her in to see if she can get a better idea of what's going on inside.
Okay.
Because I believe she has dark vision, right?
She does have dark vision, unlike other cats, which is just weird to me. Cats should have dark vision. Wizard of the Coast, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they?
They do not, and it's weird.
No, I'm saying...
Oh, Miss Diana does for sure. Yeah.
Are you oh, I see it. 60 feet. Okay. I was like, I don't see that anywhere.
She's also immune to poison, which is interesting.
They can also sense poison.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Tressum are awesome. They really are.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can also detect invisibility.
Actually, tell you what, how far is that detection of poison?
It's anything they can taste, touch, or smell.
Roll her a smell check.
Roll for smell. Jesus, that's blood.
Well,
It has
it's
advantage
perception.
on that.
That's why I mentioned for smell. Okay.
Double fours. There are a lot of bats, so there are
Yeah,
mountains of bat shit.
There's a lot of bats. There's a lot of bat shit. It smells like poison because of the bat shit, but so if she's going in, I will say, what's the radius of her dark vision? 60 feet?
Yes.
Okay. She can see there's some sort of ruins in here. There's, like I said, a lot of water. She sees multiple giant bats, both to the north and the south of the hole in the roof here.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is everything she sees, including she sees about 4 orcs from where she's at. They're all asleep.
Ooh.
I will relay that.
You guys decided to attack the nocturnal people at night, in the daytime. So, bonus.
Yay.
Imagine that.
I imagine there's still some people or orcs awake down there.
You do hear there's a little bit of movement. There's at least someone on watch. But as of right now, it appears that most of what she can see, they're asleep.
So,
All right.
where exactly are we? Like, if this is a dome, are we still standing on the outside looking into this hole?
Mhm.
I'd say you're all probably crowded around the hole. You're kind of like your head's poked in.
And this is like straight up just a hole in a dome. There's no like pathway to walk onto inside the
Here.
hole.
I will tell you what. I will move you to it so you can see what you're looking at. Give me one moment here. Let me get this all set up. And you said your like Azure Edge isn't lit up,
Nope.
and the other one, Weaver's not lit up.
Weaver will only glow at night. I guess in darkness, I have to look at it.
It's darkness. Okay. Are y'all ready? Because I love this map, and this was
Hell yeah.
all mine.
Ooh. Gimme.
Oh, damn.
Without a light source, that's what you can see. And Mortimer, from where you are, you can see there's a couple of giant bats both to the north and to the south. You also see from where you are that one orc to the south.
So
that appears to be
we're...
awake.
This is like a circle of light coming down through the hole in the ceiling,
Right.
and we're above the water 40 feet or so, standing on
Yep.
the roof?
Exactly.
Okay.
From where you are, it's hard to say just how deep the water may be, so keep that in mind too.
And these... Okay, those are the columns you said. Those go all the way to the roof?
Right. Yes. Top to bottom.
Gotcha. Right. We need to get down in there. Todrin says quietly. I can do my own little teleport as well if we all just want to be down there.
We do have our rings.
Oh, right. Brilliant, Bert.
Feather falling?
Feather falling.
Yes.
And I'll just
Hey, babe.
lightly step off into the air and start to coast my way down.
Clever. All right. I'll tell you what. Everyone that's doing that, roll a stealth check with advantage to see how big your splash is, basically.
Not terrible.
We're all rolling with advantage?
Yes, everyone rolls with advantage.
Wow, that's twice. 2 12s. What the fuck?
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, Alex is awake now, and we have to get to Goodyear by 5. So, whenever you're ready to take a quick break.
I'll tell you what. Let's take the break here with the knowledge that while you guys are falling, that orc that's on watch, there was a brief kind of sound. It's like
How's that again?
Fuck!
Hmm?
Uh-oh.
Tim Allen
right.
is on.
All right.
Well,
So
I will be quick then,
don't worry about it. All right, we will be here.
and then I can't speak for you guys, but I'm good to play until you guys don't want to play anymore. So,
All right. So we'll call it a break. If anybody wants to grab a bite to eat or anything like that, go ahead. No
appreciate it,
napping.
guys.
Let's. I don't want to have to wake anybody up from a nap. But
No guarantees.
no promises.
damn it! I said what I said.
Everybody's
Alright,
sleeping.
I'll be back as quick as I can.
All right. So, what do you think of the map so far? I mean, you
Oh,
can't
it
see a
looks so
lot,
cool.
but I
love
know you
the
can't see a
lily
lot of it,
pads.
but I was really proud of this one. This went through 3 iterations before I was like, okay, I've got it.
Wicked.
And Mortimer, you can see the outside edge of the ruins that I mentioned too. You guys are clever. I honestly, I was wondering, will they use the roof entrance or not? I was like, yeah, awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
I didn't expect the Rings of Feather Falling. That was a good choice.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, well, I just remembered I have Misty Step, so I can just be down there. Have you guys seen They Are Billions? I'm streaming a little bit of that if you want to check it out while we're hanging
the
out.
game?
Yeah.
Right, I remember this.
I haven't played in forever. I just booted up a survival game. I'm sure I'll get crushed pretty quick, but until then, we're gonna have us a little zombie action.
What? My bow and arrows are ready.
Oops, excuse me, I don't mean to drink in your ears.
That was a drink? It sounded like chips.
It's ice moving around.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. It's like, jeez.
My bad. I should have
You're
muted
good.
myself before I did that.
You are
Unacceptable.
fine. Unacceptable!
So I've been telling Hind earlier about our Forbidden Lands game, and about Rolk and the or Rolf or however his name was, and how the guy came in and said, let me in," and we're like, "Okay, who are you with?" And he's like, do you know Rolf?" And he's like, "That drunk son of a bitch." Yeah, he knows him. I loved that line so much. It's a fun game. I've come to really enjoy it.
That's good.
I would actually, I don't know. I would consider running it someday. I love D&D so much, and the idea of running a different fantasy themed game is kind of, I don't know. But maybe, I don't know.
Let's go. On your orders.
You run Mothership.
What's Mothership?
It's a horror space RPG.
Why does that ring a bell? Is it
There
new,
was-
or has it been around?
It's old, but there's a Kickstarter for the new one that just recently hit, so there's a lot of press about it.
Speaking of Kickstarter, Hein, did you hear Brandon Sanderson's Kickstarter has reached the all-time Kickstarter record?
All time for everything, huh?
And he hasn't even been on for a week yet.
Oh my god, dude. That
It was
is
like 19 million in a day or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the record was like 20. Last I saw, he was up to 22.
that is insanity.
Let's see. Yeah, there's a CNN article about it when I Google it.
That's you.
So he is currently
Thank you.
sitting at 23.9 million, and the previous record was 20.3.
All right.
So he's already almost 3 million ahead of the previous record.
Insane.
Absolutely nuts. That's amazing.
Brando Sando, baby.
I gotta read one of his books. Like, you're gonna have to tell me what's his best work, because I'm gonna have to read one.
Do you want...
I don't want a series unless it's like absolutely necessary, because I may not
Just
go
full of
all the way in.
sex.
Well, all of his best shit is series.
Is it?
Yeah, but the Mistborn series is 3 books, and then it's a completion. And then there is another 3 books that are on the same planet in the next age, tech age.
So does he do fantasy and sci-fi? Because that's what I
Yes.
got the impression of.
Yes, he does. Yeah, and his whole thing is that it's all in this giant universe called the Cosmere, and there's all
Right, I
these
heard him
different.
mention that.
Yeah, there's all these different planets, and on each planet, magic works differently. And
Okay.
every once in a while, at the end of a book, there will be a tidbit from the perspective of a scientist that has visited multiples of these worlds and like compares the magic on each one and stuff. And there are
Huh.
definitely like in one story, there's a chaotic neutral dude and a lawful good chick that's hunting him. And then in another series on a different planet, characters that are very similar to those two will kind of wrap into the story and wrap out of it. The stories are kind of intertwined if you really want to dig for it. But if you
Right.
just want to read them, every book or every series is perfectly well contained within itself. There's just this whole other layer of lore deep underneath if you want to dig for it,
Awesome.
which is really cool. But honestly, I would recommend starting with Mistborn. It's
Okay.
at the very least, it's a complete trilogy. It's amazing story, and yeah, you'd really like it.
Let's see. I'm gonna add it to my wish list here.
Great fantasy.
I bet he's got them on Kindle, doesn't he?
I'm not really sure. Probably. I get all his shit on.
Yeah, they've got it available for Kindle.
What's it called? You know, the thing. Audio. Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon. There we go.
I like the cover art. Cool. Can an evil that has ruled for 1,000 years be defeated? I sure hope so. I don't want to get started on political stuff or anything, but this craziness in Ukraine is, wow.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Frustrating. I thought we were past all this bullshit.
Yeah, right? Seriously.
Big bully shit ass wants to flex their muscles. I
Unfortunately,
think it was your meme where it was like the committee. Wow, the committee of like corporate folks in the skyscraper, and they're like, "What? Our neighbors keep wanting to join the
NATO.
NATO
Or the EU. Was it EU or NATO? I forget.
think it was NATO." And
Yeah.
the last guy, they're like, "Maybe we should invade them and flex our muscles." And the last guy's like, "Or we could just stop giving them reasons to want to join NATO."
Yeah.
They chuck him out the window.
I've seen so many good memes, and there's been some absolutely amazing footage from people on the ground, which, there's a lot of it that I just don't want to see because, burned bodies is not something I want to see, but
Right.
That's the best meme right there.
Oh gosh.
Burned bodies?
I know the image in general.
Oh. Russian invasion of Ukraine canceled after Putin's racist homophobic tweets from 2012 resurfaced.
I wish.
And the quote at the bottom.
I have seen. Oh, there was a thing at the bottom. Let's see.
Attention. Building completed.
Wow.
Canceled. Putin's
Have
canceled.
you seen the pictures of him where he's doing like press conferences and shit, and the nearest person to him is seated like 50 feet across the room? He's afraid he's gonna get shot. He's afraid someone's gonna come after him.
Good.
I'm saying that I don't know if
Should
that's
be.
I don't know if that's actually the reason or if he's paranoid about COVID or what the deal is, but the sitting halfway across the room makes it look like he's afraid of something, and yeah, he should be.
Yep.
Frankly, I wouldn't bother me one bit if somebody took him out at this point.
I like what you said. The dude is a Bond villain.
He is. He really is. He is a real life Bond villain.
Straight up is.
I said that, and then keep seeing other people online saying it, and I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm not the only one that noticed. But he's I don't know. It's just I don't want to go too deep in all this, but there was some video I saw where you keep seeing all these videos of the Ukrainian farmers that are towing tanks away with tractors and shit. And
Yes.
it's
You
hilarious.
don't have to claim this on your taxes.
I love that. That was one of my favorites so far. The Ukrainian government's just like, no, this one. Don't worry about it. You don't have to claim that.
That's great.
But I've seen 2 different videos now where they were using, I don't know what MANPAD stands for. It's some kind of rocket launcher. But
Yeah, it's the shoulder-fired
Yeah.
anti-aircraft missile.
there's 2 different videos I've seen where a Ukrainian guy shoots down a helicopter with one of those things. And it's amazing footage though. I mean, I know it's terrible, it's war footage, but still at the same time it's like, wow.
I'm still floored that that thing you shared about the guy that's the first ace, and how the jet he's flying around. The design is 50 years old, dude.
Yeah, the Ghost of Kiev. That was an interesting story. I hope that story is true. There's been some Russian propaganda that it's made up, but
well, of course.
Yeah.
And there will
I hope
also
it's
be
true.
Ukrainian propaganda.
Oh
but
yeah, for
even
sure.
if it's propaganda, Russian is being horrible. So
Well, and that's
fine.
something I saw someone say something about that, and I think that's a really important point. The Russian propaganda is all bullshit. I hate it. It's awful to hear the things they're saying, that they're saying that Zelensky's a Nazi and all this other crazy shit that's just not true, right?
Mhm.
But then there is Ukrainian propaganda too, where there's stuff they're saying too. But for theirs, I get it. They're defending their country, and if they have to lie even a little bit to if that little lie or big lie or whatever it is gives them even a sliver of a chance of winning this thing, then lie.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep. And even if the footage may not be real or whatever, plenty of that awful is actually happening. So it's not like it's entirely unrealistic.
Well, and I haven't seen any footage that I necessarily thought wasn't real.
Right. No, of course most of it's going to be real, but even
Yeah.
if there is some that isn't,
Yeah.
There's a lot from the flight sim that I fly, the digital combat simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time there's a war, that and Arma, the videos from that are posted and believed and reported on.
Really?
The
That
video
doesn't
game
surprise
footage.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
keep
God.
seeing YouTube videos with thumbnails from Star Citizen, like, this is the United States' next aircraft or some shit like that. It's like, no, it's not. I know where that's from, damn it.
Gamers are spending thousands of dollars on. Oh man.
I don't get it. I don't understand why these, especially the YouTube stuff, I don't understand why it's like, and I know clickbait, they're making money off of it, but it's just like, you assholes.
Yep. I am getting sick of spree where every fucking video that's posted now has to have a person reacting to it. Where like somebody pretends to be watching it for the first time and making these stupid fucking faces and on the side. God, it pisses me off, man. I'm like, dude, I do not need somebody else there distracting from the content, pretending, just completely faking their ass off to try to tell me how to think and what to feel about this video. Like, if your shit is funny, I promise I will laugh. I don't need bald, random, what's his fuck it over here. Like, oh my god.
And so much of it is so over the top, too.
Yes.
Like, yes, it's funny, but I'm not, rolling the floor.
It's yeah, exactly. It's super annoying to me. That's my first old man annoyance right there is, what the fuck? I don't need this.
I have a question. Are we streaming?
Oh, yes, we are.
Okay. I'm just curious while we're shooting the shit here. It's just,
I forgot. I could totally pause that.
Well, I've already said all the political shit anyway, so if I'm going to get hate mail for it, I'm going to get hate mail for it. But
Uh-oh. Dozens of infected are approaching from the north.
There are dozens of us.
They are dozens.
hey, how does the frame rate get on that game when it really is like tons of
Well,
shit happening?
I've never noticed it drop, but I have above average
Right.
computation capability.
I would think that with it being that's the point of the game that they would have addressed that
Yeah,
issue.
yeah. I mean, visually it's not extremely demanding.
Right. I've been playing Vampire. The came out 2018, I guess. And it is so obvious when you play the game that they wanted to make a Vampire the Masquerade game but didn't have the license. Like
wow.
They're using words that are in like well known for Vampire the Masquerade, and there's different things that are like stand-ins. Like they have their own version of the Camarilla, they have their own version of the Nosferatu, they have their own version of this and that. But what's interesting about it to me is it all takes place during the Spanish flu back in the early 20th century.
Mm.
In London. Now, keep this in mind, it's in the middle of a pandemic while we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, no.
So what's interesting is that it was made before COVID started, though. So you get a lot of that. You don't get anything that's been, say, tainted by the COVID experience.
Uh-huh.
We
Does that
didn't
make
realize
sense?
how stupid people
Right.
actually are.
Exactly. Exactly. So you get all these people talking about, you know, the different things about this plague that they're dealing with, and I don't know. It was just it's interesting to see it without the COVID angle added on afterwards.
Yeah, when we were still naive about
Yeah.
how people would
Haha,
actually
you
react.
fools! Listen to scientists.
There actually is some of that though. There really is. There's a doctor in the game that is like these newfangled scientific medical methods are wrong and we shouldn't be doing this, and this is it's like, really?
Oh boy. You're like, yep.
You know, and this guy's wanting to, you know, like bleed people with leeches or some shit. I don't know what his deal is, but it was interesting.
Highly archaic.
It's a good game. Yeah, it is. It's a good game. I enjoy it. But it really does feel like they really wanted to make a Vampire the Masquerade game and just didn't have the license to do it.
Nice. My Steam Deck should be shipping here in the next month or so, I'm hoping.
Neat.
I'm super excited to see what that system is like.
So I don't know anything about it. Is it just like a console for your Steam games? Is that, or is there more to it?
Imagine a laptop in the shape of a Switch, and that's what it is. It's a fully functional computer, a PC, but it's built into the shape of a Switch. It's bigger than a Switch, but it's you know, you get the gist of it. And it has a Linux-based operating system that is made by Valve. It's called Steam OS.
Right.
And yeah, so it's fully. You can do whatever you want with it. If you want, you can strip it and put Windows on it, or base Linux and do your own thing. You can do whatever you want. But for the console experience, you know, for people that aren't that savvy, it's got Steam OS on it, and yeah, it's just a fully functioning computer. And there's two thumbsticks with touch sensors and haptics. There's a D-pad. There's the 4 buttons, A, B, X, Y, or whatever they are. There's a touch pad on both sides, so you can use your thumbs to move the mouse around, and those can click. And then there is 3 buttons on the back of each controller for your fingers. So there's so much flexibility with control schemes and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I already have a Switch, I already have a gaming laptop, so, it's not really so much about having a portable system as I am excited for the step forward in the, what do you want to call it, the genre, I guess, that it
Right.
represents, the principle of it.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Not
I
to
guess
mention
it's
the price point.
It's probably not like this feels like a stupid question, but it won't work for VR, will it?
No, it will not.
I didn't think so.
I mean, no. I mean, it has the capability. Like, it has ports to just straight up be plugged into a monitor with a keyboard and mouse and be a full-fledged gaming PC. But VR takes a certain amount of a lot of computing power, and I don't know if it would. Maybe some basic games it might be able to keep up with, but yeah.
I've still not had the pleasure. I've still not had the pleasure of trying VR, but someday.
I love it, man.
I've heard people. It seems to be hit or miss, and I guess it's got like some people have like motion sickness and things like that. That like my sister probably would hate it, but
for sure, it's definitely not for everybody in its current state.
Kai, have you had the chance to try VR yet?
I got to play the Oculus before it was the Oculus. We were developing a VR game at CCP back when that was still under development, and it was pretty cool. My glasses got in the way, and it wasn't very comfortable.
Yeah, I have to play without glasses.
So they haven't resolved that. There's not a workaround for that for them.
There is now. Well, for one thing, the screens are a lot better, so you can have them up against your eyes without glasses and be able to see reasonably well. But for example, the one that I have, the Valve. Oh man, not the Index, the first one. Anyway, it's got just enough space that if my head wasn't as big as it is, I could wear my glasses. But my head is as big as it is, so glasses are kind of a tight squeeze. To be fair, the headset's kind of a tight squeeze. One size fits all does not help Hind very much. Sadly.
I hope we're not wasting any time. Gotcha.
Well, I'm curious to see how this goes with you guys sneaking in while they're asleep in here, or most of them. It may not go well with that orc that just got what's down.
Yeah. We're about to go. What's a good stealth game? About to go snake on his ass. What's that sound? Do you think they're ever gonna bring back Tox Machina? Why haven't they? What's going on?
I
there?
don't know. I saw where what's his face Brian was doing something else. I don't know what it was, but he got off doing something else, and then I heard he's back, and I don't know if he's actually back or not. So I don't know. But hell, let Mika Burton do it. She does the interview for the.
Oh my god, she did so well with that, dude.
Those interviews were great.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
I have not yet watched 10 through 12 yet, so, but I saw the first 3 and she did great.
Yeah, she was a lot of fun. I agree. Let her do it till he comes back for sure.
What was the other girl? Shoot, what's her name? She was doing the recaps for him for a while.
Danny Carr?
Danny, yes. She'd be okay doing it too. I would prefer Mika, but she'd be okay doing it too.
I agree. I think Danny running a thing would be more of a comedy thing than what we were used to.
That's true.
Just
of course, you say that, but Brian was.
Well, yeah, but he was really great about funneling that energy back and forth like a pendulum.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know how well Danny would funnel that energy.
I don't know.
Mika would be great, though. She did great with those interviews.
Yeah.
A new task. Oh, more orders.
Oh, but right back.
All right.
5 minutes or so.
Yeah. A new task. You order, you pay. What? You are gonna pay me for this, right? Gotcha.
Our defenses are being
A new
attacked.
task. My bow and arrows are ready. What do you want now?
They are attacking the colony defenses.
Yes, tell me. But be quick. A new task. What do you want now?
Oh,
Yeah. Roger that. You
oh, we're not ready for that.
okay?
Retreat.
Are you sure?
Commander? Perfect. Great ideas, sir. For the humans!
Holy shit.
Come on. Just tell me what to do. Any orders? They are trying to break through.
This better be good. Gotcha.
Tell me.
You attack. A new task.
Any orders? Is everything okay? For the humans!
What? Great. You call that a plan?
Just tell me what to do. Come on.
Attention. Building
On
completed.
your orders. Tell me. Ready and waiting.
The walls are under attack.
My bow and arrows are ready. You again. Yeah.
Any orders?
My bow and arrows are ready. This better be good. Great.
Do you need me? Is everything okay? Come on.
My bow and arrows are ready.
Do you need me?
A new task.
Orders, sir.
My bow and arrows are
All
ready.
right.
Our defenses are being attacked. Dozens of infected are near the colony. They are approaching from the west.
My bow and arrows are ready.
Waiting on orders.
They are
Let's
attacking
go.
the colony defenses.
Commander? Great idea, sir.
My bow and arrows are ready.
Do you need me?
You again. Yeah. Roger that.
Commander?
Yeah.
They are trying to break through.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, I hope you're not coming from the south.
Order?
You're supposed to come from the west.